Video. These are, this is a hose clamp. I got this at Napa here. This is a really good one. You can squeeze it on the fuel line. Napa's got a lot of stuff that you can use for small engines. A lot of this stuff comes from Napa. Spark plug boot pullers, so you don't rip the wire out of the spark plug boot. You grab the boot itself. Can't tell you how many wires I've ripped out just grabbing them. And magnets. I keep a magnet right here. That always comes in handy. I'm always dropping things with having shaky hands. You guys have to excuse me. I have shaking hands a lot because I'm dealing with a condition. But here's a seal removal tool. This comes in pretty handy too. Or you can just take a sharp screwdriver and a hammer, and if the seal's already bad, hey, whatever, however you need to get it out. Let's see. A lot of these tools I've showed you before too. This is a Zama carburetor needle adjusting tool, little float needle. Whatever Zama carburetor you're working on. Like a matter of fact, yesterday I was working on a C10, which is right here. You take the diaphragm and everything off, and you lay this across the carburetor, and the top of the needle lever will be right level with that. If you had if it was like a C1S or C2, it would need to have that clearance. And you've got a gauge for a wall burl. You've got lots of different brand, style, model numbers of wall burl carburetors. I don't know how well you can focus on that. Lots of feeler gauges. These I got at Napa. Some of these I got at Northern Tool. Some I got at Napa. And there's a spark plug tester. It's not a very organized video. I'm just going through my toolbox because it's not a pretty video. It's not a pretty toolbox. Not like what I've seen on the YouTube, but a lot of this stuff I've had for so many years. There's more feeler gauges here. Lots of pick tools. I use these a lot. I keep a pick at hand right here. This is really handy for reaching in a two-stroke fuel tank and getting the fuel filter out of. I've already broke the tip off this end. I had to resharpen it. And I've got spark plug testers. Here's an old tachometer there. That's an old one there. This is the one I bought on Amazon here recently. This is a really good tachometer here. What you do is you lay it on top of the engine while the engine is running. And when this is vibrating at its widest point, it will tell you what the RPMs are. And this thing is deadly accurate. It's really good RPM gauge. And I got this valve. When I'm putting tubes in tires, you pull half the tire off, you put the tube in it, and you stick the valve stem through the hole. This is really good for holding the valve stem, so when you're putting the tire back on, the tube doesn't fall back in there inside the tire. You lose the valve stem. That's what that's good for. And I don't know what all I have in here, to tell you the truth. Here's a little piece of wood I've used. I use this to clean out the exhaust port, because you can't use anything metal. You'll scratch the piston or something. So that's just a little piece. You can see how it's soaked in wood, or soaked in oil. So that's a handy little piece of wood right there. I've had this thing for many years. Let's see. I showed you that drawer 4 times. More compression testers. Valve spring removal tool. Here's another one. This is for Briggs & Stratton. Briggs & Stratton engines. I got this one on Amazon, and I got this one I think at Napa. And there's one I have in here that I always go to that I got when I was in high school. I believe it's this one. Yep, I believe it's that one right there. I've had that one for 30 years. Here's another style of valve spring removal. I got this one on Amazon. This one's not as good quality. It'll bend, and it doesn't reach well, and it's awful thin, and it'll bend real easy. So I'm not real impressed with that. This is something I've had for many years, and I've really never used it. It's a strap wrench. You can take oil filters off with it, and it's a 1/2-inch drive. It's pretty neat, but I've really never had to use it for anything, thank goodness. And let's see, I showed Rooster my drill bit drawer. Everybody's got to have a drill bit drawer. Lots of drill bits. And these are my go-to sockets. This is a Husky. And these are some I got at, no, actually these are Benchtop. I was thinking they were Husky. These are Benchtop brand. I got these at Kmart before they went out of business. I got these, golly, back in '94. I got that set of sockets in 1994 when I went to work for a fella next door. And I've got most of them left. Then I have these hex drives. These are 1/2-inch hex drives. These are pretty serious right here. These are all impact. These are Husky brand. I got these at Home Depot. Yeah. For your large Allen heads. And lots of Allen wrenches. I got these at Home Depot too. I like the Husky tools, but you know, they are lifetime warranty, but you have to have your receipt to replace them. Husky breaker bars. And somebody brought to my attention just the other day that Husky is not made in the USA, and I did not know that. But they're cheap and they're good tools. I mean, they're good tools. A lot of pullers. This is a, what am I trying to say here? The tie rod end puller. Lots of flywheel pullers, just different kind of pullers. I've accumulated pullers over the years. Just all different kind of pullers. 3-drawer, 4-jaw, different kind of pullers. A lot of this is Briggs & Stratton stuff. Actually, this is a snapper blade puller. You can tell because it's red. Same as this. A lot of these are designed to go over the crankshaft nut, and you can hit these with a hammer and knock the flywheels loose. That's what a lot of these are, different sizes of those. This is a steel flywheel puller. You screw that inside of the flywheel, tighten that down over the shaft. Clutch pullers. And guys, that's about it for the toolbox tour. I wanted to show you one more thing I didn't mention. My last tour was this battery tester. Everybody needs a good battery tester. You can hook this to a battery. It'll tell you what the voltage is. Let me find a battery and I'll show you. It'll tell you what the voltage is, and then it'll also tell you what the voltage is under a load. And this is the battery out of my Jeep. Alright, this battery only has about 5 volts. And then you hit the button to put it under a load and it just drops. That is definitely a bad battery. So, I got that at Napa. That was about $45 for that battery tester. That's the only thing you have really that you can you can load test a battery. I mean, you can test the voltage in a battery, you can charge it and hope for the best, but you need to be able to load test it to make double sure that's not what any of the problems are. But these are my go-to wrenches here. I got my standard. These are all the metric. These are the ones I grab the most. Nut drivers, screwdrivers. These are my basic sizes of Torx drive. I got all the different sizes. I've got all the Allen wrenches. I got these at the HVAC supply houses, and these nut drivers too. I got these at the HVAC supply houses. I do a lot of HVAC and different things like that, so I got to have these too. Everything I have here, I have on the truck, also the service truck. These are the 3 pliers that I use the most. Needle nose. These are good for moving the hose clamps, little spring-loaded hose clamps, and of course the side cutters for cutting fuel line. And I use these 3 are the most used tools in the entire shop. Those 3 right there. And of course I use 18 volt DeWalt stuff. About 3 years ago I bought all new 20 volt and I brought all my 18 volt stuff home. So I'm eventually going to buy all new 20 volt stuff for the shop. I got the impact, the drill, the flashlight, and all these are the little bits and bobs I use the most. I got my 1/4, 5/16, 3/8 drivers, extensions. I got my 3/8 drive and my 1/4 drive for the sockets I put on the impact wrench. And then you've got the Torx, and then you've got the Phillips. You got number 3s, number 2s, and then square drives. And then you've got these here. I use those a lot. It's just really easy grab stuff. This is all my easy grab. These are the tools I use the most. And I use these mostly too. These have become my hand here. I can do so much with those. And I got a straight pair, channel locks, and large channel locks. Here's all my vice grips. These are hose clamps, fuel line clamps. And I made my own fuel line clamps before I actually bought some. I took these cheap little $4 vice grips and I welded plate to them. And then you can clamp off fuel line without damaging it. And then you've got your spark plug wrenches and your ball peen hammers, battery charger. This is a tool I use a lot, and this is just an otoscope. Same thing a doctor uses. You can, when you're working on carburetors, you can really look into a main jet, look for clogs. This is really handy. I got this at Walmart for about $15, and it takes 2 AA batteries, and it is one of my favorite tools. And then this air chuck here is the one I use the most. This one is not threaded, so you can take a small pneumatic tire and you can hit the valve stem and just psh, psh, without it sticking and having to pull it off before you explode the tire. I've had that for many years. And I got a scan tool, which I don't really work on a whole lot of cars. I can't stand working on cars. And I got a full line of different size Sten brand pull cord. And then I got 1/4 inch fuel line. The 1/4 inch fuel line I get from Sten's is a 1/2 inch outside diameter. The stuff I get from Briggs is 7/16 outside diameter. But the Briggs style that is 7/16 outside, it doesn't. These clamps won't clamp down good on it. And by the way, I got my stickers from Rayleigh's and AJP this week. Appreciate that, guys. I keep a lot of different filters, primer bulbs, different kind of primer bulbs, lots of different kind of filters. These are for fuel pump engines, and of course these are for gravity fed engines. lots of hose clamps. I always keep a lot of hose clamps. And let's see, anything else I want to show you guys? Sandpaper, emery cloth. I keep a lot of emery cloth, and plumber's sandpaper, plumber's tape, I guess is what they call that. It's about 80 grit. I use that a lot. Steel wool, emery cloth. I use all this stuff. Comes in handy, and sandpaper. Painter's tape, lots of super glue. Dust masks. I don't even know what that is anymore. I think that's gutter sealer. It is. Gutter seals. I seal gutters while I'm working on lawnmowers. Sponges, steel wool. These are my paint strainers when I paint a car. Tack cloths for painting cars. Tack cloths. Let's see what else we have. There's the old man I took off the tree before I hired him to cut it down. And you gotta have a lot of gloves, which I don't ever wear gloves, but I have a lot of gloves. And this drawer here, I have accumulated. I go in this drawer a lot for just brackets. Anything metal, brackets, L brackets, you know, S hooks, link, just anything at all that I can use. Eye bolts, just anything at all, really. You have to have you a drawer for that. Just different kind of brackets. Chain, big brackets, anything. And I also save. This is the drawer I go to when I need to fabricate a bracket. And you just got just different sizes of just random metal. Just different kinds of metal. And I also have a milk crate back there. That's all my scrap metal. All that different scrap metal I keep. I fabricate a lot of things. So it's always, I just tripped over the table again. Let's see, anything. This is my electrical drawer. I do a lot of electrical, residential electrical, breaker panels. This is my AV drawer. You always need Cat 6 wire, anything to do with cable television, RCA cables, just junk. There's all my Cat 6 wire, cable TV wire, RCA cables. I don't think anything's in here. I can't believe I got an empty drawer. I got to find something to put in it. Oh, one more thing I got this chainsaw sharpener at, I got this at Northern Tool. This is $139. I don't particularly care for this one because this one's got a hydraulic cylinder. And every time you try to sharpen a chain, it's like you're arm wrestling, you know. Makes you want to turn your hat around backwards when you try to sharpen a chain. It takes all your might, and it's not adjustable. I do not like this chainsaw sharpener. The one I had years ago, you just take your two fingers and you can just tap, tap, tap. But this one just takes all your might. I was thinking about taking this hydraulic line off and just letting it flop. I think I could use it better if I did. And it comes with 3 different size blades, different thicknesses. And I'll show you real quick my power tools. I've got sawzalls, cordless sawzalls, circular saws, cordless circular saws, drills. This is a 1/2 inch drill. It's a pretty big drill. Fuel transfer pumps, orbital sanders, cordless drills. I got jigsaws. These are 4.5 inch hand grinders. This one I keep cutting blades on it, and this one I keep a flap disc on it, and the one beside the garage door I keep a grinding wheel on it for sharpening chainsaw chains. Sorry about that, guys. I had a customer come up and had to pause. But I just wanted to close the video out, and you know, I appreciate you guys watching my videos, and if y'all need anything, give me a holler. If you got any questions, you got my email address. You can go to tomdoby.com. You can find all my info on there. I appreciate it, guys.